Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you guys can all hear me okay. Let me know if there are any issues. It's been quite a bit of time since I last saw you, so welcome again. I hope you all are having a lovely spring. Today, we are having our spring organization refresh with Rachel of Space in Your Place Organizing. I have just a couple of announcements. If you have any questions at all during the point of this workshop, please ask them in the Q&A box so Rachel can see them and answer them for you. If you have any questions for me, I can definitely answer them in the chat as well. And I'll be typing up all of Rachel's answers so you can see them typed up in the answered questions location. We'll also be having a coupon that you can use at muji.ca. Currently, we can only ship to BC and Ontario residents, but it will be 10% off organization and storage items. So stay tuned for the end. If you miss it at the end, don't worry. We're recording this workshop to YouTube, so you could definitely check it out there. If you need to run in the middle of it or miss any part that you would like to hear again, you could check it out on YouTube. And we'll also be sending a thank you email afterwards with all this information and more after the workshop. So do not worry if you miss anything at all. That is everything from me. I'm going to now bring Rachel in. Let's see if this works. Hey, Rachel. Hi. All right. That's everything from me. So if you want to just take it away, then that'll be cool with me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hi, I'm Rachel, owner of Space in Your Place Organizing. I'm here in Victoria, BC, west coast of Canada. So what we're going to start out doing is organizing this linen closet. And for the sake of time, I've kind of done a little bit of pre-work, but essentially I'll run you through what I do in clients' homes. This is my friend's home, not my client's home right now. So I've just been picking apart some things and getting it ready. But yeah, so any of the things that I bring up today, even though this is a linen closet, these methods can all be, they can all be used across any area in your home, whether that be the kitchen, the pantry, bedroom, closet. The whole process is essentially the same. So in an ideal setting, if I wasn't being recorded, I would be taking everything out of here completely. I've actually already wiped it down, so that's all ready, but I've had to place items back in just to show you guys. So this is kind of how it was before, though. I just kind of threw everything back in there. So again, the first step is always going to be to empty it completely out. Empty that space, that closet, any of the rooms you're working in, you want to empty that space completely. And so what we'll do is after we've emptied it, we want to start to categorize. So that's going to make sense later down the road when we start to implement the products. But we're going to categorize items into groups. So for example, being a linen closet, this is in a master bathroom. You can see items like first aid, towels, nails, waxing, sunscreen, face care, medical. So I'm going to start to just do as I do, start to categorize things. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. But just have at her. A lot of people hesitate with where to start. And I just say start. Even if it's going to take you 5 minutes or you think it's going to be worse, just start, because starting is better than not doing anything and it looking like this the whole time. So we'll start with nails, for example. So we've got all the nail stuff in here. So I'm just going to start to see where any of the nail stuff is and put it into one pile. So let's see here. And there's a lot of nail stuff. So that's going to be its own pile here. I've gathered all of these sheet masks, for example. There's tons of sheet masks, so that's going to be its own pile here. And don't worry about decluttering yet. We want to see exactly what we have, so we can see exactly how many sheet masks or how many shades of red nail polish we have, for example. We've got all of the sunscreen and aloe vera, anything to do with the sun outside. That's going to be in its own pile again. didn't even take it out of here, but this is all serums, face washes, toners, moisturizers, anything to do with washing your face. So it can actually go near the face and sheet masks here. There's towels everywhere. As you can tell, I did not really reorganize this before. So here's all just face towels and anything to do with washing the face. So this is going to go, I'm going to place it up here with linens because it'll likely go closer to the linens. And believe it or not, this is actually all the towels she has. Not like in my house, we have lots. So that's just there for now. First aid, I kind of separate first aid from medical, even if it's just a separate bin. But if it makes sense for you in your home, you can have them together. So we've got things like Band-Aids, Midol, Pepsid AC, thermometer, rubbing alcohol, prescriptions. That's there. Wound care. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these. They're awesome. It's not related to organizing at all. It's a visual ear cleaner. It's amazing. And it's a camera that goes in your ear. Off topic.
That's interesting. I don't think
Amazon, $19.99, I think it was. I only know this because this is my friend's closet. But we tried it out on my husband and it was life-changing.
Interesting. We do have one question. When you're putting things into categories, do you put them into loose piles or can you place them right into bins?
At this point, because I'm just categorizing, I don't even worry about bins or anything just yet. I just categorize. So even if I know in my head, oh, that's expired or something like that, I just put it in that pile. That's just the step I take, the process. So at this point, it's just categories. Like I can already see some things that are expired, but that's just category. I don't put it in any bins yet because I really don't know what size of bin I want to use until I know what has been decluttered out of that space. Because you might think, based on all this, I need a large bin. But then once you purge it, it can go into a much smaller bin. So that's why I wait. So we've got all the fun pads and tampons. So that's its own section there. This is a whole the kids' nail stuff. So I'm going to put that next to mom's nail stuff. What else we got? We have more sunscreen, which is going to go over here. Toilet paper is its own section. We've got Tylenol, kids' Tylenol. I combine them together, but I've also done a lot of homes where they want their own kids' medicine. So that's an option too. This daughter is a little bit older, so they're not worried about her getting into things. Tea tree oil, we're going to put in some first aid. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think so. More face masks, which we had over here. How many face masks does someone need? Don't ask me because I also have a lot. I'm that person who goes into Sephora and spends way too much money. All right, so I'm still finding random first aid or medical things that I'm just, again, categorizing. Pedicure kit, nail stuff.
Another question we've gotten is, how do you determine how many categories to make?
I personally, I like it pretty general. I don't subcategorize, which is actually a term. So for example, I could do nails and then you just keep it at nail polish, clippers, these, which is a thing to like clean up your nails, nail polish remover. I keep it really general. Like face care, for example, again, your face wash, your toner, your moisturizer, your masks, keep all that in one bin. You don't have to like subcategorize into cleansers, toners, moisturizers. I think where that is probably beneficial is if that's your line of work. If maybe you're in the skincare industry and you have a surplus of facial products, but for the average person, you maybe have one or two each. And there's no point in getting all these little bins for all those categories. But again, if that works for you, then do it. What else do we have here? And then we've got a whole wax situation. Lots of waxing supplies. So if I ever found like razors or things like that, I would put like her waxing supplies and razors in a bin together, and that would be like hair removal. So you keep it pretty general. As you can see, for the sake of time, this is actually full of expired products that she had that I went through and looked at, or products that she doesn't use and doesn't want. So that brings me to my next step. Get that out of the way. So once you've got things categorized, you can kind of see, shove it to your side there. So you can kind of see this is first aid and medical. We've got nails down over here, feminine care here, waxing stuff here, toilet paper. And then we've got face wash stuff right here. And then sunscreen, sun care, after sun, and then linens up top. So they're divided up pretty easily. And so this is where I think one of the most important steps is, which is purging. So in the linen closet in this space, I would ask something. The first thing I'd ask is, has it expired? Because a lot of things, if you look on the bottom of a lot of products, obviously Tylenol, we all know expires, but even things like sunscreen, I made the mistake years ago using expired sunscreen by like a couple months, and I burnt very badly. So expired sunscreen, you can usually find it on the bottom or at the back. Even your makeup is expired. You'll see like a little, like a disc on the bottom of your makeup, and it'll say usually like a 12 or a 24 or a 9. And those are the 9 months of the 24 months after opening when that should be used up and then discarded. I actually saw a reel today, and it was someone saying, if you bought makeup or skincare during the pandemic, the start of the pandemic, you should be throwing it out at this point because it's likely expired, which means it's grown mold or bacteria or things like that. So expired is one of the things that you can easily decide on if it's gone. So that gets gotten rid of. Expired medications and things like, obviously medications and Tylenol and things like that, you're going to want to take to a pharmacy to be safely disposed of. They'll take it all for you. And then you're going to want to ask yourself, when's the last time I used this? Do I really need this many, for example? My friend's going to kill me. This many of the same red nail polish. Just say these were all very similar, which probably to a lot of guys it would be, but they're very different. Actually, don't. Those are the same. So do you need that many? Chances are no. So you would maybe get rid of one or two. Consider donating to a friend or a young girl or something like that. So asking yourself those questions to really minimize your inventory is important, because then you can see what you have. It's way easier to organize and keep your space tidy when there's a lot less to organize. So making sure you've decluttered what you can, throw out what you can, recycle what you can. And so it's at that stage after you've decluttered, have a bag, like a grocery bag by your side to just easily dump stuff into, recycle obviously whatever's possible. But then after that comes the fun part, which is the bins and the containers and the labels and things like that. So I'm going to pull a couple bins that I've got right here, some Muji bins, and I'll show you why I chose them and how I use them. So for example, we'll start with a big one. Well, it's actually medium. So these are nice. One of the reasons I love these is because I like anything that's stackable, because you can really take advantage of that vertical space here. Oftentimes people just use one small little pull out or a small little basket when you've got all this room here that's not being used. So I love these. They have a lid, they're stackable, and they are wipeable. So you can just go ahead and throw skincare stuff, for example, right inside. And, sometimes, it shouldn't spill, but the odd time it obviously does. So it's nice to have something that's wipeable, because you can just wipe it out, as opposed to something like a wicker basket where I've seen it, where it just gets gross inside. So I think that's all for skincare for her face. That's all face skincare. So again, it goes on nice, seals up, and I'm just going to place it down or up here for now. Another one we've got. Another size, smaller size here, is for feminine care. We've got the pads, all the fun stuff of being a female. There we go. Okay, again, that fits nicely. Top, and then it just stacks. I'll show you in a second, but it stacks really nicely on top. I will grab medical. So again, this is where some people want to divide it up. You can do first aid, prescriptions, kids, everything like that. I like to keep it really easy, especially for young families, when you can just grab and go, grab what you need. You don't have to worry about it looking so pretty inside, because on the outside, these are nice because they're just nice, simple colors, obviously white and clear. It's easy. It kind of goes with any aesthetic. So feel free to just dump stuff in. So again, this is all the first aid, things like that. I usually, when I'm working with families, will ask about their kids and the ages, and we'll throw the first aid stuff up high because you never know what your children want to eat.
We did receive a question about subcategories. If you do make them, would you put the smaller containers in bigger ones to keep those subcategories organized?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the volume of things you have.
Right.
So yeah, so if, for example, if I notice like she has more medical than first aid, I'm just looking down at this, she's got more medical than first aid, I'd maybe just divide it up. And instead of this large one I have here, like this is the biggest of these kind of bins, instead of having a large one, I might just do like this one would be her medical, and this one would be her first aid. If I thought that you wanted to subdivide, and you could just write medical, first aid, keep it really simple.
We also have another question about drawer systems. Do you personally use them?
I do, and actually I've got a couple down here that we'll use. I do like a drawer, and but the only way I like a drawer, this is really hard to do when I'm one-handed, okay. The only way I like a drawer is if it's low enough that it doesn't, you can still see what's in it essentially. Because if you have a drawer that's too high, you can't see it and you risk it like falling down on you. I'll show you in a second. There we go. So these are some Muji drawers. I like them for down below, again, because if they're too high, I'll show you why I don't like them. If they're too high, you can't see what's in them at all. And what's nice about these ones also is they're stackable. I like anything stackable. So I've got these on the floor, and I'll be able to show you after how I've used them, but I like them on the floor. Again, it takes up that vertical space because there's just quite a bit of empty space, obviously, in between the shelves. So we will do. So right now we've got, this is a backstock bin. So one of the reasons I like backstock items, having a backstock bin, is because nowadays people are shopping at Costco, or they're buying, it's buy 3 deodorants, get the 4th free, that kind of thing. So people are tending to stock up. And so what I like about having the backstock is it doesn't take up room in your everyday inventory and your everyday storage. And that, hey, when I run out of that toothpaste or that deodorant, I'm going to check my backstock before to make sure I don't need to get it again. Or if I do, I just, put it on a list. So I tend to have a backstock bin for bathrooms, linen closet, kitchen, that kind of thing. Especially with girls' bathrooms, you tend to have a lot of backstock. Like personally, I buy our family's like toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. I sort of buy it in volume. Like I buy at least 2 or 3 at a time because I know I'm going to go through it. And then I just have it in my linen closet, and it's just broken down into deodorants, teeth, body care, that kind of thing. So I've got that here ready for her. She doesn't actually need it, but it's here. Actually, who am I kidding? She probably will use it when I turn this off and I do the entire bathroom. because she's my friend and I can tell her that I'm gonna do it. So here we've got nails, all nail care. So this is that pedicure kit. We've got all the nail polish remover. Apparently there's 2 different kinds. I did not know. She uses this to clean up the nails. So anything to do with the nails. And if you wanted, you could subdivide again. You could do like all your nail care here, and then you could do nail tools or something in like a small bin in here or a small bag if you really want to. I'm just putting all the nail stuff in here. And again, you're only left with what you have wanted. You've already decluttered. You only have your favorite things. You only have what you truly want. So ideally, you're working with a lot less. Sorry, there's a lot of nail stuff here. I wish I could get my nails done. They just would never last. Okay. Nail tools, nail files, children's nail stuff. Just get it all in there. And again, wipeable, easy, looks nice and neat. Where did I put that lid? Here we go. And then I put it on. There we go. Last but not least, we've got waxing things. So I'm going to gather all those up. And I knew ahead of time sort of what I knew, because I kind of looked at what she had, but I knew what bins to get and what size. But it's totally okay if once you've decluttered your space, if you need to pause and go out and then purchase a bin or order a bin online, because you know what you're working with. Don't be in a rush to go out and buy bins to make it work for you, because it's not realistic. Take a pause, go online, check your measurements, measure your space, see what works. Got in skincare. So we're coming up on summertime, and actually here in Victoria I think it's 15 degrees. It's very warm, and I'm in shorts. So I've got her sunscreen all ready to go, and we're going to put it down in one of these bins. I'm actually just going to bring it up because the angle of this room. Maybe I'll move that. So ideally this would be a bit lower. I don't like it really this high, but pulls out just like a drawer. Well, it is a drawer. Pulls out, it's a drawer. So we've got room in here for lots of sunscreen, lots of body care. You could combine body care with your sunscreen, whatever makes sense for you. For example, we store a lot of our sunscreen in our mudroom because it's easy. It's a grab and go thing. I store sunscreen in my trunk, in my car. So whatever makes sense for you, where you're going to remember to apply it. So we've got that down there. And then I love these bags. So these bags are zippered bags. These are great for any of those soft things that obviously you don't need to wipe. So we're going to divide these linens into categories of, we'll do towels, and then we'll do her face towels.
We are getting a few more questions now. Let's go with Akko's question. Are you choosing the bin position depending on how often the category items are used?
Absolutely. Yep. So just like in a kitchen or closet, any space, I always store things. If you're using it often, every day, once a week, that kind of thing, I store things in like this prime real estate space. Anywhere where you can touch, you can quickly get to, not a big deal. Anything that you're not using a lot, you can't see it, but there's a humidifier up here. I talked to my friend and she doesn't use it that often. So we just kept it up there because I knew I wasn't going to move it. So it's up there. It's not going to move because she probably uses it, you know, a week a year. So it doesn't need to take up the space right here. Down here is where, you know, she's doing her nails with her daughter all the time. Her skincare is obviously used quite a bit down here. And then medical's up a little bit higher. Her daughter is 9. So it's not a huge issue to have it within reach, but we're storing it up here. And then we've got towels down here. Towels we're going to put up there. The reason we're putting these face towels up here is because they're very light and you can easily just grab them and pull them down if you need to. So these are all the face towels here. And then we'll grab the other bin and we're going to store, and this is at this point, I love these bins, but I like these for maybe the linens that you haven't switched over yet in your bedding. Like you have a queen sheets on right now, but you've got an extra set. These are great for that because it keeps it dust free, smelling nice. You can put like a little dryer ball or dryer sheet or something in there, some oil, keeps it smelling nice, and it's zippered up so nothing gets in it. But I'm going to show you. We're just going to put some towels. Oh, sorry, not these ones. We're going to put some beach towels in here because, again, these beach towels aren't used that often. So we're going to put these in there, store away until it's beach season, which it kind of is anyway.
Definitely not in Toronto.
No, I know. When you told me, I cried.
Yeah, we do have a few more questions. I guess Megan asks, do you suggest keeping extras backstock in the bathroom or somewhere else, like a different linen closet?
So I feel like a broken record. It totally depends. So for example, with this linen closet, this is the only storage she has. This is it. There's no other area. So like this is the area we're going to store it all. In my house, I have my everyday stuff kind of at my fingertips at my sink, and my backstock stuff is in my linen closet because we have lots of room in my linen closet. It's quite big, and it makes sense for us, bigger family, and we just have lots of space there. So that makes sense for us to have that central location. Some people, this is what they got, and you kind of have to work with what you have. And some people don't even carry a backstock. So I know lots of people who that's just what they have is what they have, and they don't have a lot of surplus. It's quite minimal. So it really just depends on your space specifically, and then the volume of products you have. I hope that makes sense.
I think it does. We do have a question about labeling, but I'll ask that when we get to labeling. Okay. We also have one. Do you recommend bins with lids or without lids, or is another whatever works for you?
Well, I like the lids because you can stack. So you couldn't stack these without the lids. So I like that aspect of it. If you're going in and out of something every day, like if I was like in a drawer, if you can see right here, I wouldn't want lids on those because I don't want to have to like get my toothbrush out and pull a lid open. Like that's kind of annoying. So I would rather it be no lid on it. But if it's in a linen closet and it's tucked away and I can stack it, yes. I've got like similar bins, and we just stack them and it works for us. So, but yes, labeling is the fun part. All right. I'm going to switch that.
While you're saying you love to use the Muji bins, do you have other suggestions for other containers that you use in your work? For example, if people can't buy the Muji bins, or do you use any other types of bins? Is it more like using what you already have, or do you specifically go out to find things that work for you?
Definitely. So I definitely try and use what you have. Often people have tried before they'll buy something and it won't work for that space. But try and use what you have. That's kind of why I say buy stuff after you've done those steps of categorizing and decluttering, then buy. I love, there's so many great places. I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond has lots of items if you're in Canada. Amazon's always good. There's lots of items on there. IKEA. Yeah, there's a lot of great products out there, but I guess if you could take away anything is know specifically what you want and then look for it. Don't buy and then make it fit for you, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, the nice thing about these is that they're very simple. There's like a very simple aesthetic. They kind of go in any room so that you're not trying to fit it into any kind of decor, essentially. Um, yeah, I would say get everything established and then know what you want and then find that, if that helps. All right. So I'm going to take this big pile of purged items. I think I may have added some more to her list. Okay. And so imagine everything blank. There's nothing labeled. So what I would do at this point to make it very easy is I label everything. So the nice thing about labeling is that there's no question about what's supposed to go and where. You're not getting you probably will still get your kid asking where does the backstop go or where's the Tylenol? You'll still get it, but at least it limits it a bit. Everybody knows and is aware that, medical is supposed to go there and nail stuff is in there. It's not like, hopefully you're not getting someone putting the medical stuff in with your feminine care or whatever, but I can't guarantee it because, families are crazy. Yeah, so when I label something, I like to use called a P-Touch Brother, and it's a cube, P-Touch Pro Cube. I think I'm saying it right. And so I use that. It's really easy. It's right on your phone. Prints it out. You can also just use, what's nice about here is you can also just use a Sharpie with your own nice handwriting if you have it. And it rubs off with nail polish remover. So you can also use that on here. You can also just do painting tape. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I use everything from my handwriting to these Brother labels that come off your connect to your phone to a huge vinyl cutter for jobs. So the sky's the limit with labeling, but I think as long as it's clear and everybody knows what it's supposed to be in there, then you're golden. So, so to maintain this type of organization, the biggest thing I would take away is obviously it's easier said than done, but putting things back where they're supposed to go. So taking that extra step of when you're feeling lazy and you're like, oh, I just need to put my Tylenol back, but it's, I'll just put it here. Just take the extra 2 seconds and put it away. And that's what I like about something like these bins is you don't have to be meticulous about it. You can just chuck it in. It's nothing fancy. When you go to use something, take inventory of what you have and what you're running low on, and instead of buying 6 things of Advil, maybe you only need 1 because the other one expired and you haven't used it in forever. Space is a big thing. So buying for the space that you have, again, like I said about the Tylenol, do you need to buy a Costco size pack of rubbing alcohol or nail polish remover or whatever? Do you need that? Do you have the room for that? Should you be buying that? That's a big thing that usually gets me to not purchase things in bulk because I think, where am I going to store that? So that's a big thing as well. And then taking inventory maybe once a year of your linen closet, doing what I just did, taking it all out, going through it all, seeing if there's anything that's expired. Like I said, if you've purchased anything around the pandemic, beginning of the pandemic last year, chances are the skincare, the makeup is expired. Yeah. So those are just a couple tips to keep it, to sustain the organization. And that goes for any space. That can be your fridge, that can be your closet. The same sort of questions and methods are used throughout any area. This is obviously just a small linen closet. Does anybody have any questions?
We do have a few questions now.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you prefer plastic containers in the bathroom versus baskets? And we have a similar question about labeling baskets, specifically wire baskets.
Yes. So I like anything wipeable in the bathroom just because I've had so much experience where things have dropped or liquid has fallen out and then you've kind of wrecked that basket. I do like the plastic that's wipeable. It's easy, it's light. Yes, I do. And then for the baskets, if you look on my Instagram page, you'll see quite often, anytime I use a wicker basket, for example, I can't show you the label, I don't think, but anytime I use a wicker basket, you'll see that I have these clip-on labels, and it's a metal label and it's got a paper insert and it just clips on, and then you can label that. If you're in Canada, my girlfriend has created them. Sparks Organizing. Christy is basically she invented these labels in Canada, and so you can purchase them from her. They come in a 2 or 3 pack, black labels, and you can use chalk, Sharpie, you can use vinyl cutter. So those are perfect on wicker baskets. Other than that, I think Container Store sells them, but I really like hers for anything to clip on an awkward basket. They work really well. What is it called?
Is it SPARX Organizing?
Oh, Sparks, SPARX, Sparks Organizing. Yeah, she's on Instagram as well, Christy.
I'll send the link to the website. Yeah.
Yep. You can order delivers.
Which Ivana's asking, don't boxes create less space even though it looks neat?
Well, if you can see the profile of these, I would say no. Like I don't know if that really translates on the web, but like, no. Think about all this and think about, for example, all this stuff in here was on this shelf. Well, now you've got a lid on it, for example, and then you can add this on top. And you can add like this, I don't know if you can see it, on there. So unless you have floating items, no, it doesn't take up more space.
So it just creates more room for vertical space. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We also have a question. I know this is a little bit off topic, but any good containers for organizing a garage, in your opinion?
Good old-fashioned Rubbermaids.
The big ones, right?
Yep, Rubbermaids or Sterilite brand, Rubbermaid brand. They all carry great totes. I actually have a lot of garage projects coming up, and one of the things I always ask people is, do they prefer clear totes or do they prefer solid color? It's like half and half. The nice thing about solid color is it looks aesthetically nice because it's all one color and you have labels on the front. There's the clear bins, which you can see inside, but I still label. So at that point, it's just aesthetics. But yeah, just big old bins, and keep it general again for categorizing. Don't overthink it. Car, sports, or hockey, or rollerblading, like keep it all general.
Which label maker do you use, or do you mainly use ones from your friend?
So her clip-on labels are great for the actual, I should have brought some, for the actual baskets to clip onto. So you still have a label on top of that, but they provide a way for the wicker baskets to be labeled. Otherwise, nothing would stick to it. For these guys, I really like I can link it in my Instagram, but it's the Brother P Touch Cube Pro, and that connects to your phone and also your laptop, and it comes out, you can buy all the cartridges on Amazon. It comes out in like 1,000 different fonts. That's a great one. Staples and Walmart and Amazon all sell labelers for like $20 nowadays, and you can use something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. The fanciest one I use is my Silhouette Cameo, and it's a machine like this big, and it cuts vinyl. And so I'll use that. Typically I'll use that in like kitchens and bathrooms and things like that. But for a garage, I would keep it pretty simple.
Sorry, we have a question about, can the Muji containers be used in the fridge? They can be used in the fridge, and they're very easy to clean. So that's a fun fact. Maybe not in the freezer, however.
Yeah, but yeah, especially the depth, like it's not too deep. So it's actually nice. It would fit in quite well.
Let's see. We're coming up to the 40-minute mark.
Oh my gosh, really? I thought
I know it's time definitely flies.
20 minutes.
Yeah, so I guess one last question. So I know you mentioned the wicker baskets and like baskets made of rattan, for example, but how about wire baskets? Do you usually also use that kind of same clip-on, or do you use
the same clip can be applied? Yep, the same clip can be applied to the wicker or the metal. Once you see the clip, you'll understand that it really
It clips onto the side.
yeah, like it clips right here, like
Mhm.
a one of those. I don't know how to describe it, but it clips right here,
Mhm.
and then you see it at the front, like toilet paper.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Sounds good. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys all for your questions. We've got a lot of questions near that. Oh, Tina says that she uses the Muji containers in the freezer, so that's good to know. It
Oh,
also works in the freezer.
there you go.
We will be wrapping up now, but thank you all so much for joining us for this mini, very quick organization session with Rachel. If you guys are interested in buying your own Muji containers, we do have a coupon code Rachel10. I'll type it in the chat for you guys now, which you can use at muji.ca until May 10th. And just like I said at the beginning, it's only available for residents in British Columbia, Canada, and Ontario, Canada for now. Hopefully, in the future, we can expand our shipping to the rest of Canada and see everyone. I'll have all of the information in the thank you email. So anything about the cost of the products used today, that'll be all available in the email. And yeah, if you have any further questions about organizing, please message Rachel on Instagram. I've also put her Instagram in the chat. It's Space in Your Place Organizing. And yeah, one person asked, can you use a code when you go to the store? It's online only, which I also make sure to say in the email. So it's an online only code. Yeah, do you have anything else to say, Rachel?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go out and enjoy the sun because it's really sunny here. Sorry.
It's sunny here too now. I know it
Oh,
was snowing. It was snowing earlier in Toronto, but now it's lovely and sunny. So I hope you all enjoy your evenings and afternoons. And yeah, thank you so much, Rachel.
thank you.
I hope to see you again soon and have a lovely rest of your week. Bye, everyone.